Welcome to the Healers Podcast, where we inspire and guide healers through business expansion. We give voice to incredibly abundant healers to share their stories. We dive into the quantum field to unlock the energies of conscious creation. We also develop digital tools to help you grow, which you can find on healless.com. I'm your host, Yuli, and I'm grateful you chose to join this space. Now let's go deep. Hello, my dear friends, and welcome to another super insightful episode of the Healers Podcast. I'm really happy to tackle a new subject today that we actually haven't covered on this podcast yet, and it's unlocking brand partnerships for healers. And I'm really excited for our guest today. Frida Waywell is the founder of Locus Agency, a consultancy specializing in connecting wellness experts and creators with brands and corporate opportunities. With deep understanding of both the holistic and business world, she helps healers and wellness experts expand their reach, create impactful partnerships, and build sustainable revenue streams. And in this episode, she's going to share all the insights on how you, my dear friends, can collaborate with companies you love and use that to grow your practice and your brand and your businesses. So really looking forward to this conversation. And my intention for this episode to really inspire all of you and really open your horizons and open this new door of opportunity that many of you might not even think about, this new potential of a completely amazing and new revenue channel that you can create right now. So, Frida, welcome to the podcast, and feel free to set your intention as well.
Thank you so much for having me, Yuli. I feel really excited to get into this, and I think it's going to be so valuable for everyone listening. So my intention for this podcast episode is definitely to have the listeners, you listening right now, for you to feel confident after listening to this episode to get your first brand deal or get your next brand deal with a brand that you truly love and a brand that you are truly excited to work for. And if you don't quite know what brand deals look like, we are definitely going to expand into that in the episode as well. But that is my intention, and I'm very excited to share everything I know with you. Yeah.
Love it. And I love actionable episodes. And this is one of those, okay? we're gonna pack it with a lot of great advice, and hopefully all of you can learn something new. So speaking of learning, I think a lot of our listeners might be new to the idea. A lot of practitioners that get to the space, they come mostly with this deep desire to help clients heal, right? Whatever modality they choose, that's where they come from. So now we're introducing a new concept that besides of helping their clients, there's also this other opportunity that they can create in their practice. And it's helping brands and companies that are obviously energetically aligned in all forms and shapes to work with them and to help those companies bring their amazing products to their clients or other consumers. So can you just, before we dive into more details, can you just give an idea of what those brand collaborations look like, or why practitioners even would be attractive for brands and companies?
Yes, of course. So obviously you mentioned that working with brands as a practitioner is helping the brand grow. But I think as a practitioner and as an expert, you can also see it as this is also helping your clients, because a brand collaboration looks like a brand that you love selling supplements, for example. They will either reach out to you or you will reach out to them and offer some kind of collaboration. Like, this is just the basis of how this collaboration looks like. And in exchange for promoting their products, that could be through Instagram content, that could be through client referrals, that could be through any agreement that you have. You will get maybe a commission, you will get free products, or you will get a flat fee. So that is the basis of how a brand collaboration looks. And I think from what I have worked with my brands, they love working with practitioners because you already have a community of people or clients who trust you in your specific field, in your specific niche, depending on what you are teaching. So if the brand that you want to work with aligns with your customers and your clients, that is very, very valuable for the brand, because then you already have a community that the brand can easily tap into because they trust you. And a lot of the problem that brands are facing right now, health and wellness brands, whether they're selling supplements or wearables, the problem they're facing is trust. There's so many brands, so it's very hard for consumers and us to know, okay, what is high quality? So if you as a practitioner truly love a brand and you have a community or you have clients that trust you, that brand is going to see you as very valuable because you have people that they can tap into that already trust you, so the brand doesn't have to build that trust. So hopefully that answers the question as to how a brand collaboration looks, but it's basically products or it's a flat fee, and then you are creating content or you are sharing the brand with your clients. So you don't necessarily have to be creating content on social media every single day, but there's other ways that you can actually collaborate with a brand. That doesn't mean that you have to be an influencer as well, because I also think that's maybe what you are hesitating towards as well. You know, you don't want to be an influencer, you don't want to be posting on social media every day. Maybe that's also a barrier to some people.
No, absolutely. And you touched on so many great points that I want to follow up before I forget. So one, and a really important point is that you touched on the subject of community. And I feel like this is something that a lot of practitioners undervalue, is they see their clients as just simply clients, while in fact, you're absolutely right, a lot of them build incredible communities around a specific niche. And even if it's a small community, let's say you have a total of 100 clients, right, that you've amassed. And it sounds like a small number, right? Why would anyone or any brand interested in that number? But we know anyone who works in a marketing field, right, that even a small number of highly engaged and trusted clients or members of your community has tremendous value. So can you talk a little bit about that? Like, who are we talking about here? Because I'm just thinking some practitioners might be listening now thinking, well, I'm only starting out. I only have like a 50, 100 clients. Like, it's not for me, right? So let's address that.
Definitely. Honestly, I was going to say 20, 50 clients. That is great because these clients, your clients as a practitioner, they trust you. So anything that you recommend, if it's from a genuine place, and like you said, the brand should be an energetic match as well, and you should love the brand that you are going to collaborate with. Anything that you recommend, your clients and your community are going to trust your recommendation. And yeah, I think not undervaluing your clients as a community and really nurturing that is going to go a long way, especially when you want to increase your revenue. Because if we're talking about increasing revenue as well, when you recommend a product to your client and you have a special discount code for them, you can earn commission on that discount code. And that's usually how one of my clients right now, that's how we work with practitioners. So we reach out to practitioners and we say, hey, we think that you or your clients are going to love our product because we see that you specialize in gut health and you're helping people heal their gut, for example. We have some incredible supplements that we'd love you to recommend. So we'll send you some supplements. You can try the supplements and then recommend it to your clients. The size of your community, really, it doesn't matter if it's small, however you view as small. If it's 10 people in your community, if it's 100 people, that is still valuable for the brand because that can still be 10 repeat customers that they have loving and vouching for the brand. And then for you as a practitioner, that can be 10, 50 people buying the products, and you can get 10%, 20% of each purchase of those products as well. So that's when it comes in as well as an amazing revenue stream. So the brand is going to see it as valuable because you have a specific niche and you're solving a specific problem. And that's what health brands really want. They want experts who are solving a problem. And also what I'm seeing in the industry with health and wellness brands is they're moving away from more traditional wellness lifestyle influencers, and they're moving more into people who are experts in a specific healing modality. And that's what you as a practitioner have on your side. Like, you are an expert in a niche, and brands really, really value that.
That's incredible to know. And thank you for this insight, because, someone who in my previous career chapter worked a lot with social media influencers, right? I know how diverse that space is. And, there are people that are getting into the space purely for just to become a social media influencer, right? And build a career out of that as a content creator. Nothing wrong with that. But I have a feeling a lot of our listeners might be, might not be huge fans of that concept, right? Because from my experience, a lot of practitioners, like, social media is not natural to them. And a lot of them still might feel like this is not their core expertise. This is not what they do. And I think, unfortunately, that term influencer kind of implies, some social media expertise, some willingness to live in the public eye and expose different sides of their lives or their personalities, be seen, right? Which is not natural maybe to a lot of practitioners. But I love that you said that we're coming more from this angle of expert, right? That more companies are looking for true experts, not kind of like this vanity personas that are built purely for, this social media machine and the algorithm, and they know how to create the perfect content. They have this machine behind them. And a lot of them, even though they have large audiences, they're actually very ineffective in selling a product. I know that firsthand from, again, working with influencers, and how many brands would be surprised, right? When they come in and they say, I want to work with this person who has millions of followers, right? And they throw a lot of money in those people. And in the end, the results can be really, really underwhelming, right? So we're talking about this trend of actually brands are finally realizing that it's not about the number of followers or that, vanity metrics or even the persona of or the celebrity status. It's more about, especially when it comes to wellness, it's about that true expertise, right?
Definitely. I think I am seeing now that brands are looking way less into followings, and they're looking more into niche communities, because the brands that I'm talking about, they have science-backed health products. They have health products that solve specific problems. So your typical lifestyle influencers don't know fully how to talk about that product and how to sell that product, and they don't love that product. So even if they have 100,000 followers, maybe those 100,000 followers are into lifestyle, they're into fashion, they're into just the everyday vlogging style content. Whereas if you have a few hundred, a few thousand followers who are deeply invested and passionate about health, and they want to learn more about that, that is way more valuable. And even in the brand's eye, that is valuable. So that's why practitioners are becoming very, very valuable, even though you might have no following. You might have a very small community. You might have a very small following. It's really not about the number of followers anymore, but it's about the niche community. And I'm seeing this with a brand right now that we're working with. We have found like huge amounts of success working with micro experts in the wellness industry versus working as in very small following, versus working with macro influencers who have larger followings, but their followers they're not even almost educated about the health space. So it's really important that your followers or your community, they're already invested. So when you have a product to recommend, that's already kind of been on their radar. They've already been considering it in the past. So you, as a practitioner, then talking about a product is way more likely to convert your audience to buy. And brands see that too.
Amazing. Well, hopefully we inspired some of you or convinced some of you that you actually have a lot of value. And I think, most of the practitioners I see that we see on our platform, they build amazing communities. Even if they're small, I can just tell they're very engaged. And even if you don't post all the time on social, but you just, your clients follow you. And when you do post, they pay attention, right? Because they know your content has high quality.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, just to reiterate that, the small followings you have is extremely valuable. And I think it's just a matter of not comparing yourself to influencers and to maybe other practitioners who have larger followings, and actually looking at the engagement rate, because that is what we look at with all the brands we work with as well. We're looking at how engaged are these communities, and if there is any way that you can gather like testimonials or reviews or anything just to reassure yourself that what you are doing is very valuable, that also helps as well, just with your self-worth. Because if there is anything blocking you from reaching out to brands, or if you're feeling like, I don't have 1,000 followers, I don't have a few thousand followers, then stop looking at the followers and look at the other things instead. Look at the positive feedback you're getting. Look at the reviews. Maybe you can compile that into a folder or into some kind of PDF and be like, actually, what I do is very valuable. My engagement rate is high. My audience trusts me. My community trusts me. I'm helping people. That is way more valuable than the numbers on the platform. And brands are starting to see that too. Trust me. We're seeing that largely in the health space. The fashion industry, that's a different story. But we're talking about health, and we're talking about brands that are actually changing people's lives through their products.
Amazing. So since you mentioned what brands are actually looking for, so outside of the social media following and engagement and some of those testimonials and reviews and just success stories and engagement rates, what else do brands look for? And how can those experts and practitioners position themselves better for brand collaborations?
Yes, of course. So of course, your social media presence is important, and how you are showing up online. Not to say that if you don't have a social media presence, that means you can't get brand deals, because you definitely can. And that's what we're doing with some of our practitioners right now and working with a brand. But how you can position yourself, creating some kind of media kit. So like I said, with the testimonials and with the engagement rate, that is the key thing that is going to get you brand deals, to be honest. If you can put together some kind of one pager or some kind of PDF with just some statistics or your work or how many clients you have or how big your community is, if you can put that in a one pager, that is going to make everything so much easier for the brand to see the value straight away. Because also, these brands, they are busy. Maybe they're not vetting each practitioner, each influencer one by one. So if you can just give them the details, like, hey, this is me, this is what I do, this is who I work with, the amazing reviews I get, this is my engagement rate. If you are on social media, you'll have an engagement rate that you can just find in your insights. This is where my audience are based. This is where my clients are based. This is what they're struggling with. And this is why I think we would be a great fit. And you can just create a base template, and then you can personalize that with each brand that you reach out to a little bit. So if there's like a specific problem that your clients are facing, you can personalize that depending on what the brand is that you're reaching out to. But the main thing I'd recommend is just position yourself and just have this one pager. And then really trust in yourself that the community you have and what you do is very valuable to this brand, and position yourself as a person of value as well. You are not begging for this brand to work with you. You are not begging for this brand deal, but you are saying, hey, I would love to work with your brand. I think this collaboration would be really valuable to my community. I think they would really benefit from your product. I would love to discuss this. Let me know. You can even say, let's book in a quick call, just really showing up as though this is mutually beneficial for me, because I would love to share the product and my community would love it, but it's also very beneficial for the brand. And that will take you so far. Even like, it doesn't matter about the following. When you are positioning yourself like that, if a brand sees that, they're going to be like, wow, what a nice message to receive. What a nice person wanting to promote our products. Yes, let's hop on a call and let's see what deal we can do, whether it's a flat fee, whether it's gifting, whether it's a commission rate.
Amazing. So before we just talk a little more about the brand outreach and how many ways it can work, I just wanted to add something as you were talking about all the things that they can put on that one pager. I was also thinking about all the beautiful like events and workshops and retreats they're hosting that could be very valuable for brands as well, because it could be like opportunity for gifting or exploring products, right?
Definitely such a good point. I know that a lot of my clients and brands, they want to sponsor retreats as well. Goodie bags, sponsoring retreats with goodie bags, sponsoring retreats with a leaflet and a code. I know that recently we have some digestive enzymes, a brand selling digestive enzymes, and we recently sponsored a retreat, whereas I think it was every lunch and every dinner, there were digestive enzymes for people to take as they were eating so that they could digest the food. And that was great for the brand. And then the brand also offered, 20% off for everybody who was attending the retreat. So you can do that. You can also pitch that to brands. And that is a great way for the brand to get more reach, for the brand to get potentially repeat customers that are your clients. And it's also great for you hosting a retreat, because then everyone who's at the retreat gets free products. They get to try some new products. And usually you just get the brand sponsoring the retreat for free.
Amazing. Yeah. So I love to bring those ideas because I think a lot of people are diving into the retreat space these days, or at least, even local retreats, right? I'm seeing different like half-day mini retreat or a one-day retreat or a weekend. It doesn't need to be, something in Bali or something exotic. It can be even like a half-day workshop you're hosting. But isn't it nice to provide your clients with that extra value, and maybe even grow with the brand to a point that they're actually offering to sponsor it, and even with the fee? Because I think the key in those collaborations, not seeing it as kind of this one-off, right? The key is to build a partnership that you provide so much value that the brand wants to help you grow, right?
Definitely. And I've seen this even happen with dinners that people are hosted. If you've hosted a dinner, or like you said, a half-day retreat, a workshop, you can definitely think creatively and think, okay, what brands do I want to sponsor? Do I want to have here? What brands do I want to highlight here? What would go well with the clients? And yes, a long-term collaboration. Brands are also looking for long-term collaborations. And the reason is because when people see a specific person, so when people see you talking about a brand multiple times, your clients, your community, they're way more likely to buy that brand after the third, fourth, fifth time that you're actually talking about it, not the first. So if you are, as a practitioner, if you are pitching yourself, always come up with like packages for a longer term collaboration. And this can be a 3-month collaboration, or you can say, okay, I would love for you to send some products to sponsor this retreat. And then I would also love to create content here for you. And I would love to talk about you in my community as well. So it can be 3 endorsements that you do. There can be different levels to packages like this.
Amazing. Yes. As many kind of different touch points, what we call it again, marketing term throwing here, but people do need multiple touch points. So anything you can think about in different mediums, different opportunities. Also, I'm going to throw in mailing list, huge value, right? Because I think we often think about social media. You don't even have to be on social media. If you have a decent sized mailing list that is highly curated and people that actually open and read your emails, that's a gold mine, right?
Totally. I was going to touch on mailing lists, if you write a blog, but these are very valuable, and you can get paid to have a brand want to feature their product in your mailing list if, like you said, your mailing list is highly engaged, if you have the stats to share. So if you are not someone who wants to post online every day, wants to show up every day, but you love writing and you provide value in that way, focus and grow your mailing list, and you can get amazing sponsors there. But also client referrals and having a commission code where you can just refer products to your clients. That's also a very underrated way to actually increase revenue and promote a brand as well. So if you don't have a following, but you're telling the brand, hey, if you're not on social media, but you want to refer the products to your clients, you can just say, I would love to refer your products and have a commission code. The brand loses nothing for creating a commission code for you. And then if you end up selling a lot of products for that brand, then you can say, hey, I'm actually selling a lot of products for you. Like my clients keep buying your products. They're amazing. Can we work something out where we have a flat fee for this and I promote you this many times? And then you can work from there. And again, that's long-term collaboration. We're looking for long-term sustainable collaborations that can go month on month and really can make a massive difference to the revenue that you're making.
Amazing. Because I think also from a brand perspective, they're probably not looking to work with just, hundreds or thousands of influencers. They want to build relationship with a few key people and, continue that and grow that. It's just much easier from a brand perspective.
Exactly. It's also so much easier for a brand to not manage hundreds of influencers with hundreds of thousands of followers. It's much easier to manage just select experts who are consistently talking about the product and who don't damage their brand reputation as well. Because these health brands, they have a reputation. So they actually don't want influencers of, all sorts, like doing paid collaborations with them and being the face behind their brand, because that doesn't necessarily look good for the brand as well. So it's a lot about the brand reputation, and you as a practitioner, you make the brand look good. You're an expert in your field and the brands really value that.
Amazing. So let's talk more about, first of all, what kind of brands, just to give people ideas. So we talk about supplement brands. Let's throw some other categories that people can really think about and make a short list. I love making, when I had with my previous company, I worked with a lot of big brands. I had my short list of my dream brands to work with. And we're just going down the list and we got a lot of them. But I think maybe inspiring people to make a short list and look at different categories, right, that they could be valuable for.
Yes, that's such a good idea. So I would suggest making a list of your dream brands that you would like to work with, but also making a list of different categories that relate to your expertise and what you are teaching and what you are helping your clients with. So it could be skincare, it could be hair care, it could be supplements, it could be supplements focusing on adaptogens, nootropics. Like what is the niche, and can you make multiple categories and then write down your dream brands? And I would say it's always fun to write down the dream brand, go big, write down dream brands, and then write down some brands that you have found that you can just reach out to right now. So maybe you start with the smaller brands if that makes you feel more comfortable. You start with brands that are also just starting out. You start with brands that are just medium size. They have a few thousand followers on Instagram, but nothing more, just to see if you actually like working with brands, if you actually enjoy this way of working, if you like recommending products to your clients. And with health products, it also takes time. You want to try the product for yourself and see if it works, or you want your clients to try the product, so you want it to be authentic as well. But in terms of different categories, all the different health modalities, skincare, supplements, whether it's something to do with wearables or infrared, or maybe you're doing mindfulness. It can be something along those lines, whether it's meditation apps. There's so many different ways you can be creative about different brands.
Food and nutrition, right? Different meal plans and companies. There's so much just in the food category. I feel like there's so many different subcategories.
Yes, that is very true. And I do recommend as well, if you're using ChatGPT or AI, you can get that to outline all of these different categories for you. And then you will have a big idea of, wow, there's so many brands that I can work with, so many brands that I can actually reach out to today, and just try and just pitch yourself.
Mm-hmm. And also, I'm just thinking as we speak and ideas just roll in because there's so much to do. I'm thinking also, if you are creating some sort of a plan for your clients, right, you might be already recommending some categories or some products, right? And that would be the most natural area to look into. For example, if you are a wellness coach, right, that does provide some nutritional advice, right? Look at the products that because people love general advice, but they actually love just tell me the product to use, right? Just tell me the product to buy, because people don't have time to do their own research. So you can't just take, like, take the supplement example. You can just tell them, just go take some enzymes, right? They want to know, okay, which brand should I buy? Because they're looking for you. And I know from my experience, anytime a practitioner tells me you have to try this like probiotic, whatever, I just go and buy it. I don't even ask questions. I know they tested it on multiple clients. So just be specific. So look at the plans or recommendations that you already provide to your clients, and think about brands that you might be already recommending. You just never thought about reaching out to them actually in a more official capacity. And that would be a great place to start, right?
Oh, that is so true. Such a good point. Yeah, because it's like you said, it's likely that you're already recommending products, and your clients, your customers, they want the product. I'm the same. I'm like, if you're going to recommend probiotics or enzymes, just tell me the brand, send me the link. Like, and if you have a discount code, amazing. Like, send it to me and I will take them and I will trust you. And that again just reassures the value that you have to these brands, that people already trust you because you are a practitioner, because you help people. So I definitely recommend that. And you can even just make a list of those things, a list of things that you already recommend, and then start researching into some brands, looking at your favorite brands and seeing this as an opportunity to work with these brands.
So what is the best way to reach out then? So let's say we made a list of brands. Let's say you may be following them on social media. We know practitioners don't have time to to research and find their head of marketing or influencer programs. What is the best and most effective way, outside, of course, of working with a wonderful agency? And I'm sure you have a lot of great relationship already in place with many great influencers, but what are the most common ways to actually proactively work with brands? Of course, if a brand reaches out to you, that's an easier route. You can just take the conversation from there. But if you want it to be proactive, what do you do?
Yeah, that's a very good point. I think there's some short-term strategies and some longer-term strategies. So short-term and long-term, of course, you can work with an agency and you can just have them kind of source and do the work for you. But if we're talking, okay, if you really want brand deals like ASAP and you have the time, then it would be outreaching. It would be reaching out via Instagram DMs. And if you're not confident in your Instagram profile or your social media presence, then it will be reaching out via email. And again, making this one pager, making this pitch for yourself, a super brief email that just positions you as a person of value, and reaching out like that. This does take time, and this is time consuming. You can also like copy and paste the email. You can send the same one pager. It doesn't have to take too much time. But in the short term, that is how you're probably going to get your first brand deals, because as well, it is really effective to personally reach out to a brand. So reaching out via email and DM. If we're thinking long term, then I would really recommend building your personal brand. And your personal brand is different to just being an influencer, but that is becoming a thought leader on social media. Now, I know some of you are probably very hesitant to showing up on social media because I think with practitioners, you love the work that you do for your clients so much that maybe showing up on social media and posting a lot there just doesn't appeal to you very much. But building a personal brand, even on a platform like LinkedIn, which is very written based, can help you to grow your newsletter, can help you establish authority. You can grow a following there. And then brands are going to find you more organically. And that's going to make the pitching process a whole lot easier. When you have a following and you can just reach out to a brand, they're way more likely, they are more likely to see you and to just be like, oh, yeah, okay, you have followers, I can see it. Okay, you're an expert. So in the long term, if you really want to use this as a strategy to generate revenue long term, I do recommend building a personal brand for yourself. Short term, I would say an agency, or just reaching out, dedicating some time per week. It could be 1 hour per week. And you're like, okay, in this 1 hour, I'm just going to do reach outs to brands. I'm going to focus on this revenue stream that now I want to put 1 hour a week into. So we can just be dedicating a little time like that.
I love that. Take an hour a week and explore this. And it could actually be a joyful project, right? Because you might actually discover some brands. You might connect with some of your favorite brands that you're already using and loving. And you might build new partnerships.
It will never go as time wasted, for sure. Even if partnerships don't happen, which I doubt it. I think if you are like pitching yourself well and you're consistent with this, I'm sure you will get some brand collaborations. But even if not, you will discover some amazing brands. You will have some products to refer to your clients. And also, we haven't touched on, just quickly, a lot of brands have an affiliate program on their website as well, where you can just sign up as an affiliate and you can try it there and then without actually reaching out to the brand. I do always recommend reaching out to the brand, because then you're going to build a relationship with someone on the brand team. But a lot of brands, at the bottom of their website, they have a link that says become an affiliate. And anyone can sign up. You can just sign up there. If you truly love a brand, right now you can check their website, see if they have an affiliate program, and there we go. You can try that out and you can take it from there, and you will be able to see how many sales you make. You'll be able to earn commission straight away. So this is also a great way to get started.
Amazing. Such a good tip. Okay, so go all that list you made of all your favorite brands, go look at their footer of their website and see if they have become an affiliate.
Exactly. And wherever you organize all of your notes, I use Notion as a platform. And wherever you organize things, whether it's in a Google document, just have all of your affiliate codes and your affiliate links in a document or in a folder, so that you can keep track of, okay, I'm working with this brand for this type of health thing, this brand for this is my code, so that you can easily go in, you know what your codes are, you know what your personalized links are, and everything's in one place. And these are your links that you can earn money from. And that's the amazing thing about you as a practitioner. You have a community that you can not use to make money, but you can help them, and in return help these brands as well. That's what it's all about. It's all about helping your clients with amazing products. And obviously, I know that you're not going to recommend a product if you don't love it. And that's awesome.
Absolutely. And I love the idea of a spreadsheet in terms of just tracking tool as well, and just evaluating, right? And just keeping track. Okay, I'm testing, let's say, 3 products this month. I became an affiliate. And kind of track success too. What kind of response you're getting from your clients, to how many sales you're actually making, how much money it's making for you, and kind of also quantify your efforts, right? And the same for the outreach even. I also recommend, just to add on that, just keep track of everyone you're reaching out to, and keep some sort of like a progress sheet, and also follow up. I mean, people not always going to respond to your first email. Don't get discouraged. But I think sometimes, like, nudging somebody, hey, I was really, really excited about this partnership. I just want to know your thoughts. Just send a quick follow up. Don't just kind of leave it. So when you start tracking those things and managing it properly and following up, I think you're going to see some success for sure.
For sure. Following up is so underrated. And I think it's a lot about mindset when it comes to outreach and follow-ups. It's you're not being a pain. You're not being annoying following up. You could potentially help them so much. The brand can benefit so much from working with you. And I think when you're reaching out in that mindset and it's in that energy, when you're following up with that energy of, I want to help this brand, I was really excited to work with you, I just think they're way more likely to reply. That's how energy works, right? But if you're reaching out feeling like, oh no, I don't want to reach out again, I feel like I'm being so annoying, then they're way less likely to reply, I usually find.
Yeah, absolutely. And again, I think it comes down to the value. If you really truly believe in the value you provide and you're truly excited about it, I can't imagine a brand not just even responding to that, right? If they don't respond, it's probably because it got lost in their inbox, or someone dropped the ball, which happens, so.
Yeah. That also happens. That usually happens, they maybe have a full inbox, they've just opened, or they thought, I'm going to get back to them later, and then they've just forgotten. But any email that's complimenting a brand and just genuinely asking for an authentic collaboration, they're going to read that and they're going to be happy. So,
right.
Yeah.
So with that in mind, any best practices? Let's say you got your dream brand, they said yes to collaboration, they're giving it a try. Any best practices or actually how to make it a successful collaboration? Because again, from my experience, one thing is to sell somebody on the idea, but the execution is a big part of it, because now you need to, I know you can guarantee results, right, when working with brands, and you can guarantee that all your clients are going to buy the products or whatever it is, right? But what is the expectation then from a brand, and what's some of the things that you can do, during the collaboration, maybe as a follow-up to really continue building that great relationship?
Yeah, of course. So it depends on what the agreement with the brand is. And maybe you don't have an agreement. Maybe it's just, okay, you have a commission code and you're going to promote these products. And I would say we talked about multiple touch points, right? So your customers, your clients, they need multiple touch points to do with this brand. So that means maybe weekly you're mentioning this brand on your social media, or bi-weekly, just quickly on stories. Doesn't have to be something that takes so much effort. And then you're recommending the products to your clients in their nutrition plans, or however it is that you work. And then what I would recommend is, I think what the brand really, really would appreciate is at the end of 30 days of working together, you can send them a little summary. Send them, you can even send reviews. This is what my client thought of this product. This is how many people love this product. This is how many people are considering this product. The brand is going to appreciate that so, so much. They're going to be like, wow, this person is taking this collaboration very seriously. They're going to appreciate that so much. And the goal is to get a flat fee, I think, for collaborations. That's what we all want. So the more effort that you are putting in the beginning, and the more you are being proactive about it, and having a relationship with the brand, the more likely it is that they are going to pay you a flat fee just to be sharing, just to be promoting their products, instead of just the commission code. And a flat fee that can be, a few $100s, that can be a few $1,000s, depending on the brand, depending on the deliverables. And then once you have a flat fee, you will have specific video content to create. Maybe you have to promote the product in your community once a week, or once every 2 weeks, or once a month or something. Then there will be specific deliverables. But yeah, that is what I would recommend.
Amazing. Well, such helpful advice. And I can't believe we're running out of time and there's so much to talk about. And I think it's been really incredible and hopefully enlightening for a lot of our listeners, and just gives them a lot of great ideas how else they can bring more abundance to their practice. And, as we talk, I also wanted to mention that Frida and I have been collaborating on a new way that Helist will be able in the future to bring you, or in the very near future, actually, maybe by the time this episode comes out, we'll be able to go live with some tests on our platform as well. But really the idea is, and what we're talking about is, how can we help those brands connect with you, my dear practitioners, in a more efficient way? And, how can we help, right, match and bring together the brands who are really looking for your expertise and you. So stay tuned for more announcements, but this is where we're trying to achieve, because the more we talked, the more we realize how much opportunity there is, and no one is really there to help on both ends, right? To help you as practitioners to connect with some of those brands. And the same for brands. They have to sift through so much social media noise just to find the true, authentic experts that you are. So it's actually service on both communities, and I'm just excited to facilitate it.
Oh, I'm so excited, Yuli. That is the reason why I reached out to Yuli, actually, because I am working with brands who want to work with practitioners. And then I found, oh my God, there's a platform full of practitioners. This is amazing. So then I thought we would jump on a call. So that just hopefully reassures you listening now that the brands really do want to work with experts in the health industry. It's not about your following. It's not about these vanity metrics. but it's really about the value that you're providing and the trust you have with your niche community. That is the direction that this influencer marketing is going in. So I really hope from this podcast you have some actionable steps that you can take away now, like making the spreadsheet, maybe making your one pager, looking at your engagement rate, or figuring out, do I want to promote products in my newsletter? Do I want to promote products to my clients? Do I want to promote my Instagram? Just figuring out how you want your dream brand collaboration to look. And hopefully we provided you a good first step to actually going for it.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Frida, for all of you amazing expertise and such a lovely, inviting energy that I feel like inspired many of our listeners to give it a shot and maybe see themselves in a new light, which I really love. So thank you again for being here.
Thanks so much for having me. Speak to you soon.